Nice.
Alan Roches writes, do you think GOTG2 will continue with a fun comedic tone, or do you think Gunn will give it a more dark, gritty tone?
It always seems like sequels nowadays are going to have like a grittier tone, especially when it's obviously leading up to somewhere else. But Guardians is a movie that needs to have the humor. That was one of the endearing things about it. It needs to have that comedy, and it's going to be impossible to not have that comedy when you have Chris Pratt and Rocket and Rocket and Groot's relationship. So regardless of where the story will eventually lead down, whether that be a dark tone or not, you're going to still have humor, and you need the humor.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't see it getting much darker, but I do think that there is like the Empire Strikes Back effect where a sequel, because it's, especially if it's part of a trilogy or part of multiple movies, kind of has to go down that rabbit hole and get a little bit sketchy for the protagonist. So, you know, I think it might get darker, but I agree with you. I think it'll still be funny and a good time.
Well, he's also finding out who his father's going to be. So, yeah, there's some Empire Strikes Back isms going on. But, yeah, of course, I think you're going to have a great sense of humor in there. I think you're going to get more laughs with Guardians of the Galaxy 2 than any of the other Marvel sequels that are going to be coming out. Just like with Guardians, you got more laughs than any other Marvel film up to that point. And those laughs, by the way, there were stabs at humor that I think worked for the most part in all the Marvel cinematic films, but nothing hit as hard or as consistently as Guardians of the Galaxy. Great question, Alan. Thanks for giving me that free Starbucks tea this weekend in Tampa.
Nice.
There are also some touching moments in Guardians, you know, the beginning bit and then the Groot situation.
First 5 minutes.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So I think that they'll do both with
that's
the
a great
sequel.
point. Yeah, that's a great point because you're really combining everything that, whether it be having dark moments and fun moments, and it's a collection. That's what made Guardians so special. Not only was it property no one knew about at all, it's that when you finally do see it, you felt every emotion. So that's a great question. Thanks, Ellen. Okay, Ashley, what do you got?
Hartwell Heisenberg writes, thoughts on the Eminem movie 8 Mile? I think it's kind of underrated.
Oh, I like it.
Do you like it?
Yeah. Yeah, I was just thinking about this movie yesterday. I was thinking about it and saying, I really want to rewatch that movie because the song came on, the Eminem song.
Lose Yourself?
Lose Yourself, yeah. And I thought about how great he was in that role. I mean, playing himself, but he really showed some dramatic chops. And then Brittany Murphy, she was fantastic. And then that sex scene, what?
Awkward.
So I think it's underrated. Yeah, awkward.
Fucking awkward.
Oh, awkward.
Yeah,
I thought it was a nice expression of love.
All right.
I think the film's properly rated. I think it's great. I think it's a great piece of art. I think, yeah, but thank you for acting that out. I enjoy. I think everybody holds that to a pretty high standard as far as film goes. So I'm here on the panel with three monkeys who can't keep it together, but I thought it was a nice display of what happens when adults find each other attractive.
That's fine. For me, the movie, it's the end that gets me. I mean, the battle
God, I need to watch it again.
It's great.
I saw it when it came out.
The movie itself, I thought, was all right. I kind of wanted a little bit more from. I remember seeing it in the theater and thinking, I wanted more of the story and wanted to see. I thought he was good, and he was, and I know that because of him, he was supposed to be the lead in Elysium.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was supposed to be the lead, and he's been rumored for other stuff. He was supposed to do a boxing thing at one point too.
Interesting.
I don't know why. Maybe it just was an experience that he wanted to do as far as acting goes. But as far as his acting chops go, I thought he was great. I wanted to see what he did besides just portray himself or a version of himself. But the end, I could watch over and over and over again. So, Mark?
And Michael Shannon is also he's hooking up with Kim Basinger, who plays his mom in there.
That's
so.
right.
Yeah.
God, I forgot about that. I need to see that movie again. I mean, I saw it once when it came out in theaters, and I liked it. I remember liking it. I remember being surprised by it.
Yeah.
So.
All right, let's do two more.
All right, Patrick Hogue writes, hey guys, what do you think is more difficult, for an actor to break into Hollywood or an actor to make a comeback?
Ooh, that's a great question.
I think it's harder to make it. I think it's harder to make it than to make a comeback, because to get into that brass, I mean, we see it all the time at junkets and when you go to award shows or you watch award shows, like to get to that level, it's so hard to make it at that level. I mean, Deanne Wiest was just quoted as saying, I'm having trouble paying my rent. This is an Oscar-winning actress who she was just in an interview or whatever, and she was saying how like she has trouble paying her rent.
Diane, I got a spare room.
Yeah, right?
But I mean, that's the point. Like, she won Oscars for her amazingness and is having trouble paying her rent. Now, maybe it would be harder for her to make a comeback than for somebody to enter, but I still think it's really hard. It's probably hard to do both. I don't know. It's hard to get there and it's hard to maintain it.
It's definitely harder for women to make a comeback. I'll tell you that for sure.
Definitely harder for
But
women.
in general, Yeah, I agree. I think that it'd be harder. It's because you got to remember how many people are trying to get into acting, and there are selected people who have made it.
Millions.
There's a very for a small percentage of people who have actually made it. So when you see someone, whether it be like John Travolta or whoever it is, make this comeback, they're able to latch onto an experience or an opportunity, and make the most of it.
Yeah.
So that's not easier, but it's more likely to happen for someone who has the connections, who's
They
been
already
in the
have
game
brand
before.
recognition, right? People
Yes.
know who they
I think it
are.
depends on what you're coming back from. If you're coming back from John Travolta, who just had a career lull in the early '90s, that's one thing.
came
If
back
you're
with
trying
Pulp
to,
Fiction.
but if you're trying to come back and like Mel Gibson
Yeah.
or Michael
Yeah.
Richards, you're trying to come
Yeah.
back from a public scandal, something
Yeah,
like
that's a good
that.
point.
That makes it a lot harder. Having said that, it's a lot harder to break into Hollywood. Once you're there, you can still get a free drink anywhere.
Yeah, it's so much luck to break into Hollywood because if you have to be exactly what they're looking for at that right moment, the right time, there must be so many talented people who never get a shot, and then much less talented people who do. But I'd love to see Mel Gibson make a comeback.
He's starting.
I mean, regardless of what he did, I think he's such a great actor and he deserves a comeback. A good director too.
Yeah, I agree. All right, last one.
Matt Calixte writes, do you think we'll ever get a Gilligan's Island film? I can see a dark comedy version in theaters.
No,
I don't know. I don't
so.
think the brand is speaking of brand recognition. I mean, I grew up watching reruns, and I don't even know that they air them anymore. So I think there's a whole generation of people that maybe don't even know who
like the
Gilligan's
idea of a
Island are.
dark
Mark
I
is
can't
offended.
believe what I'm hearing.
It's the truth.
What do you
I
wanna
love Gilligan's Island, but I'm saying that there are probably a lot of people that don't know
What do you
who
want
they
to say?
are.
A goofy comedy version of it?
Yes, like what the Brady Bunch was able to do, and what Starsky and Hutch tried to do, or what Dukes of Hazzard tried to do. This is the one that is most ripe for making fun of itself. You see how popular 21 and 22 Jump Street are, which, by the way, also based on a TV show, and then it turns it on its ear. Gilligan's Island could be hysterical if done right.
That's a good point.
I'm
Yeah.
not doubting that. I'm just saying, like, maybe a lot of people
You
don't.
guys want to see your Starship Troopers?
Yeah.
But I'm going to see Gilligan's
That's
Island.
actually, if they did it, maybe with that team, it could be something funny if they really play it on it. Or maybe I just not worried about them getting into
Who would play Ginger? Who
like
would
a
play Marianne?
scary movie type thing.
Yeah.
Put Diane Wiest in one of the roles.
Very nice.
Hey everyone, if you liked this video, click that thumbs up button and make sure to subscribe to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel. It's free and helps you stay up to date with all the latest movie news, as well as our daily AMC movie talk show. Also, make sure that you follow us on Facebook and Twitter to stay up to date with all of our special promotions, contests, and prize giveaways.